4 reasons, 4, as to why you may not be seeing results from your plyometric sessions. Ladies and gentlemen of the Action Army, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of Answers for Athletes. In today's video, we have a question from JHJ438 who says, hey, I have a question. I've been doing plyometrics for 2 months now, but nothing changes. Why is that? Well, I have a great answer, and I'm actually going to give you 4 reasons, 4, as to why you may not be seeing results from your plyometric sessions. Before I give you that answer, make sure that you comment JUMP, JUMP, down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program. It is 5 phases. It is 5 months long. It is completely free. There's options to add resistance bands and dumbbells. It is actually a better program than most programs that you can pay for. I promise you that. And it is completely free. Comment JUMP down below. So let's get into it. 4 reasons as to why you may not be seeing results from your plyometric session. So first off, 2 months isn't very long. So you've been training for 2 months. That's really not that long of a time period. However, it is long enough to where you should be seeing some sort of results. Okay, so on one hand, it's not very long. Stop bitching and keep going. But on the other hand, bro, if I'm not getting results, I want to know what I'm doing wrong. So here we go. Reason number 1 as to why you may not be seeing results from your plyometric sessions or your plyometric training is because you might be doing the wrong exercises. So I'm going to tell you the best plyometric exercises right now, but I want you to realize that you can't just go out and do all these best exercises because they are intense exercises. What you really need to do is start with the regressions and progress your way up to these exercises. So that's just the caveat. Don't jump into these full force right away. The best exercises are going to be sprints, dunks. So that's low rim dunks, high rim dunks, or high object touches. You can touch the rim. You could touch the backboard. If you can't do that, you could touch the net. Jumping, max jumps as high as you can. That's going to be great. Depth jumps and drop jumps. You have single leg hops. You have hurdle jumps. You have repeated, excuse me, still getting over my sickness, guys. Almost there. We almost beat it. I do feel better. I said sickness as if I have a fucking disease or something. I just had a little cold, right? But we back, and we never missed a day. We do these videos every day because I'm here for you. But guys, those are the main plyos, right? You got your high object touches, your dunks, your single leg hops, your hurdle jumps, your depth jumps, your drop jumps, your sprints. Those are the best exercises for plyometrics, and I might have missed 1 or 2. So it depends on what you're doing. Reason number 1 why you might not see results is maybe you're doing a bunch of bullshit that you saw on TikTok. Do this plyo, do that plyo to improve your bounce. Maybe you're doing a bunch of bullshit. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is because maybe, just maybe, you aren't progressive overloading your plyos in the proper way. As I always say on this channel, to increase your vertical jump, you must force your body to change. You must force it to change. So every single time that you do a workout, you have to do more than last time. There is no other way. You must do more. Now, don't hurt yourself. Don't do a bunch more. Just do a little bit more. If you're lifting weights, just put 2.5 pounds on each side and try to do that. If you're doing plyos and you dropped off of a 12-inch box for a drop jump, try a 13-inch box or a 16-inch box. If you're doing sprints, try to jump a little faster. If you're doing dunks, try to jump a little higher. If you're touching the rim, try to touch the rim, not with your fingertips, but with the middle of your hand. That's number 2. You have to be progressive overloading. If you are not progressive overloading and you're not doing more, your body has no reason to change. That's number 2. The third reason why you might not be seeing results from your plyometrics is you might be doing too many plyometrics or you might be doing too little plyometrics. And this could be in each individual workout, but I'm mainly talking about how many times a week you are training. you should be doing plyometrics, depending on the volume of each session, obviously, 2 to 3 times per week. If you're doing more than that and the volume is high, you're likely doing too much. If you're doing less than that, you're doing 1 session a week, that's likely not enough. So the sweet spot for plyometrics is 2 to 3 times per week. And the reason is, and listen, you can do 6-7 days a week of plyometrics, but the volume is going to have to be way lower each day. I've already made a video on microdosing. It's the same thing. You take your total weekly volume and we do it 2 to 3 days. If we just spread that volume out and we do it every day, we can do plyos every day, but it has to be way less volume. What I have seen in my athletes and what I found for myself works the best is 2 to 3 times per week of a decent amount of volume. Say 4 to 5 to 6, maybe 7 exercises of plyometrics that you are progressive overloading every single time. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 1, maybe you're doing the wrong shit. Number 2, maybe you're not progressive overloading the right shit if you are doing the correct exercises. Maybe you're not doing more and forcing your body to change. Number 3, maybe you are not doing it the proper amount of times per week so that you stimulate your body, but then you allow for recovery. The reason why we do 2 to 3 days a week is because so on those other days, we can recover. Okay, if you do plyos every single day, you do a workout, then your body's trying to recover, and you hit it again, you may be causing interference and interfering the recovery process. And remember, the only 2 ways that your vertical jump increases is, number 1, if you force adaptation, and number 2, if you allow for enough recovery for that adaptation to occur. Okay, those are the only 2. Number 4, the 4th reason as to why your plyometrics may not be getting you some gains is because maybe, just maybe, you need a deload. Okay, let's say you've been doing the first 3 and you got the first 3 locked in. Let's say that I keep forgetting these. The first one is you're doing all the right exercises. Okay, let's say you are doing all the right exercises. Number 2, let's say that you're doing the right exercises and you're progressive overloading those exercises. You're making sure that you jump higher and higher each time. You're making sure that you sprint faster and faster each time, as fast as possible. You're making sure that on your plyometrics where you can measure, like depth jumps and broad jumps, you're making sure that you try to get farther and farther or higher and higher, or you drop off of a higher box. You're making sure that you progressive overload. You're making sure that, number 3, you're doing them 2 to 3 times a week and you're allowing for enough recovery afterwards. It might be that, number 4, you need a deload. Okay, if you're doing all the right stuff and you're stimulating your body, plyometrics are very tough on the central nervous system. So if you beat your central nervous system down week after week after week after week after week, in about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how hard you are training, you should take a deload week. And most of you know what a deload week is. However, a deload week, for those of you who don't know, is just a week where you are downshifting your training. So if every week you go as hard as you possibly can, then every 4 to 6 weeks, you need to downshift and do about 40 to 70%. And I just made that up. That's not actual, but that's going to get you pretty close. 40 to 70% of the volume and the intensity. Some people like to keep all the volume the same and just drop the intensity. Some people like to drop the volume and take the intensity higher. I like to do both. I like to take the volume and the intensity down to about 40 to 70% of what we have been doing. So all that this means is, let's say, if you've been doing squats with 100 pounds, then you're going to do squats with 70 pounds. If you've been doing squats with 200 pounds, you're going to do squats with 140 pounds. If you've been doing depth jumps off of, or drop jumps off of a 30-inch box, you're going to do drop jumps off of a 20-inch box. So you just take it down a little bit, and you take your reps down, you take your sets down, your volume down, your intensity down. You're still working out. It's not a full rest week. You're still working out, except you're downshifting to allow the central nervous system the recovery that it needs to build up and see super compensation from all the training that you've been doing, so that you can see the gains and you can see the fruits of your labor from all the plyos that you've been doing for those 2 months, right? So these are my 4 reasons as to why your vertical jump may not be increasing if you've been doing plyometrics for 2 months. That's your answer. Leave your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. And speaking of plyometrics, before you go, let me tell you that I have a full progressive plyometric program. It is called Beyond the Rim Project Plyo. And we start from baby plyos and we slowly ramp you up with the proper progressions all the way week after week after week until the point where we are doing these max intent best exercises like sprints and single leg hops and drop jumps and depth jumps from a high box and high object touches and dunks as high as we can, etc., etc., etc. So if you're interested, the link will be down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Beyond the Rim Project Plyo will get you some crazy gains no matter who you are. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.